Just like Diddy, Epstein didn't do nothing. He didn't do nothing.
The cameras turned on and Candace Owens wasted no time setting the tone. She said Hollywood was once again facing public scrutiny after renewed online discussions tied to the Epstein case began trending. And one of the names circulating in social media speculation was Cameron Diaz. Candace immediately clarified that there is no confirmed evidence of wrongdoing and that being mentioned in rumors or online lists does not equal guilt. But she said the public reaction reveals something much bigger, a growing distrust of elite celebrity circles. Candace leaned forward and said what frustrates her most is not just a single name trending. It's the culture that allowed powerful social networks to operate for decades without serious questioning. She explained that Epstein's scandal permanently changed how audiences view elite gatherings, private jets, and invitation-only events. What once looked glamorous now raises uncomfortable questions. She said Cameron Diaz has long been viewed as one of Hollywood's most recognizable actresses. Her career has spanned decades, and she has often stayed out of major controversy. But Candace argued that in today's climate, proximity to controversial figures, even socially or indirectly, sparks public curiosity. She stressed again that curiosity is not the same as accusation, but she believes it reflects a cultural shift.
Now, because of pressure, we have Attorney General Pam Bondi saying she's agreed to meet with Ghislaine Maxwell. Yeah, here's the headline coming out of NBC News. Deputy Attorney General will meet with Epstein accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell. And she says, if there's more to figure out here, we're going to see if we can get to the bottom of it. This is all fake, and you should not accept this. The moment that she should have just gone away and we could stop listening to Pam Bondi is the moment when she actually said that she was not sure whether or not Epstein could have been working for another country. Despite the fact that we have testimony in the form of Viktor Ostrovsky, who we covered. He defected from the Mossad, wrote a book, gave many speeches, speaking about exactly how he worked with Jeffrey Epstein, what his capacity was. Mossad has confirmed that Viktor Ostrovsky is not a fraud. He used to work for them, okay? So yeah, you got some evidence there. Also, Ari Ben-Menashe saying that, Epstein was brought to us. He was supposed to involve him in weapons dealing, the Iran-Contra affair. You know this, Pam Bondi, because the public knows this. So if you're playing stupid, it means that you are now a part of the swamp. You're part of the deep state. You are covering things up. And they're trying even more distractions, releasing the MLK files. Oh, we're going to now look into, here's everything. Here's a trove, tens of thousands of documents pertaining to the assassination of MLK, as if we don't already know that the feds shot him. Meant to be a distraction. I actually love that MLK's daughter, Bernice King, tweeted this. Check this out. Now do the Epstein files. No one is being distracted, you guys. We all recognize what exactly is happening, and it's a good thing. Stay focused on this because, like I said, this is the thread. This is the undoing. This is everybody's going to wake up very quickly to the tapestry of deception that has been very carefully woven.
Candace criticized what she sees as selective outrage in media coverage. She said when lesser-known figures are tied to controversial discussions, coverage can be aggressive and non-stop. But when a beloved A-list actress becomes part of online chatter, reporting often turns cautious and restrained. According to Candace, audiences notice that difference, and it fuels skepticism about whether celebrity status influences how stories are handled. She also addressed the emotional reaction from fans. Some rushed to defend Cameron Diaz immediately, insisting her name should never be part of such discussions. Others demand explanations anytime a celebrity is even loosely connected to a larger controversy.
The Epstein case has been officially closed, my friends. He actually didn't even have a client list that he used for blackmail.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review.
We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out. But there's a general frustration with accountability. We take it halfway, we don't take it home. And I really believe that now with Cash and Pam, there will be accountability.
Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take out my little Men in Black tool, and just wipe your memory real quick. Phew. Phew. She didn't say any of that. Phew.
Sorry. The FBI looks at the circumstances surrounding the death of Jeffrey Epstein. According to the report, this systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network, on Fox News. Go ahead.
Sean Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what the Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that.
There you have it, you guys. That is transparency. That's transparency. I mean, I don't know what more you want from your government. Do you feel like they're laughing at us? I feel like they're laughing at us. We are definitely in clown world. I'm not a huge Elon Musk fan because I think he plays a role in the coming AI system of controlling global affairs. But he did nail it with this clown meme tweet. I will say that. We will release the Epstein list. We just need more time. The Epstein list is on my desk. There is no Epstein list. Interestingly enough, though, I was contacted by someone, a certain someone. For those of you who enjoyed my Brigitte series, Xavier Poussard has been working quite diligently over the last couple of years, not just on the story of Brigitte Macron and this weird ring that happens in France, but also that investigation brought him to Jeffrey Epstein. Because Jeffrey Epstein, as Ghislaine Maxwell, she was French as well, Mossad, and the investigation of Brigitte brought him to Jeffrey Epstein, and he said to me, Candace, would you want to do a series on Epstein? He asked me this about 2 months ago. And what I heard was, would you like to die? Would you like to die? Because that's kind of where, do you want to play a game sort of a thing? And maybe where our government, with all of their resources, is failing, I don't know, maybe it will be up to us. So what can I say, guys? Stay tuned.
Candace said both reactions reveal how deeply people invest in public personas. Hollywood builds icons carefully, and when questions arise, fans feel personally protective. Candace shifted the focus toward Hollywood's culture of exclusivity. She argued that elite circles are built on relationships, influence, and access. For years, powerful people attended the same events, supported the same causes, and shared the same spaces. According to her, the Epstein scandal forced society to reevaluate those connections.
How is it that my father can be convicted of 34 crimes, but no one on Epstein's list has even been brought to light? I'm trying to figure out how that's possible, right, folks? It's almost like they're trying to protect those pedophiles for some reason. I can't imagine why, right?
Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list.
Everybody in politics has a vice that's much worse than alcoholism, is the way that I put it. But we
release the list.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list. That is an important thing.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump.
In this case, in Epstein's case, it is incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out.
I'm not ever going to let this story go because of what I heard from a source about Bill Clinton on a plane with Jeffrey Epstein. I'm not letting it go ever. Ever.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable.
All of these people are in power now. All of these people could certainly release the quote unquote list. Is it exactly a list? Is it a network of contacts? Is it video footage of people that committed crimes against children? We don't know. And we may never know, which is leading some people to ask the question, is Trump actually in the Epstein files? And personally, my take on that is no. But what is your opinion? Because I can't reconcile this Donald Trump with the Trump that we're seeing right now, the Trump that is gaslighting the public right now, the Trump that I voted for across multiple elections. The Epstein scandal is definitely terminal cancer to Trump's MAGA movement. There's no question about that. I actually said to my husband this weekend, we were talking about it, that in order for Trump to get out of this is how bad it is. In order for him to actually make the MAGA base forget this, like potentially move on from Jeffrey Epstein, he would essentially have to come right out and repeal income tax in the United States. And then we would be extremely happy. Everyone would be very happy. And then we'd go, actually, thanks, Trump, but we still remember the Epstein scandal and we want the list. That's how bad it is. There's just no making anybody forget about this Epstein scandal.
It didn't mean everyone involved in elite social scenes did anything wrong, but it shattered the illusion that those environments were automatically harmless. Her tone grew sharper as she discussed silence. Candace said when celebrities avoid conversations tied to major scandals, even indirectly, it often creates more suspicion than clarity. She emphasized that she is not accusing Cameron Diaz of anything illegal. Instead, she said the broader issue is transparency. In a world where trust in institutions is declining, silence feels louder than ever.
She went out there and claimed there were tens of thousands of hours of tape. There are, by the way, but they are child pornography. The reason the FBI is not releasing them is because those tapes do not include underage people with third parties on Epstein Island. That is not what the tapes are. Okay, I also have sources in the federal government who are covering this stuff and have seen the documents. Okay, those tapes are just child porn. That's all. That's what they are. That's why the FBI is not releasing them. Okay, as far as the Epstein list, what I have been told by my sources is that there is no Epstein list, that basically there's a black book of Jeffrey Epstein contacts. And the vast majority of those contacts are already out there publicly. That's why you know names like Prince Andrew or Alan Dershowitz or some of the names that have been mentioned here. Those contacts, there is no evidence, according to the DOJ and the FBI, and again, that's public, there's no evidence that any of those third parties were having girls trafficked to them. And that is not evidence that was made clear, certainly, to the DOJ or the FBI. Here is Tucker then asserting that it was actually Mossad. Again, without evidence, not a shock. Of course, this is where Tucker was going. This has become the hot speculation on the internet, is without evidence. You say that Mossad was running Jeffrey Epstein. When I say without evidence, I mean without evidence. Naftali Bennett, the former Israeli prime minister, said, quote, "As a former Israeli prime minister, with the Mossad having reported directly to me, I say to you with 100% certainty, the accusation that Jeffrey Epstein somehow worked for Israel or the Mossad running a blackmail ring is categorically and totally false. This accusation is a lie being peddled by prominent online personalities such as Tucker Carlson, pretending they know things they don't." And in fact, I followed up with the former Prime Minister, Naftali Bennett, and what he told me is that Mossad has not been active in the United States or against the United States since the Jonathan Pollard scandal of 1987, when a U.S. Army contractor who's actually working for the Navy revealed classified information to the Israeli government. He was prosecuted by the United States government and ended up in prison.
I didn't watch
for
this whole
almost
clip.
30
This is
years.
hilarious.
And so Israel since then has not spied on the United States with Mossad.
Okay, guys. Well, there you have it. It's just, I don't know how he does it with a straight face. I'm just like, well, anyway, guys, there's millions of emails, but don't even it's like, Mossad hasn't been doing nothing. I know it seems weird because BB's like always here or whatever, and we seem to be doing their bidding everywhere. But the Mossad just said in the United States, they were like, I'm a chill. And they haven't done a single thing here at all. I know it might look that way. Miriam Madel said she doesn't even know their name. She doesn't know who they are, actually. She's doing her thing and she's giving Trump $200 million, but it ain't got nothing to do with the Mossad. So I just wanted to bring you that stunning report from Ben Shapiro. Thank you for clarifying, Benjamin.
What? 21 cars? What? They could have gave me a car.
Candace also spoke about how social media has reshaped accountability. In the past, a story could fade quietly if traditional outlets chose not to emphasize it. Today, online communities dissect timelines, resurfaced interviews, and archived photos. Candace said this digital scrutiny has made celebrity culture more fragile. Reputation alone no longer shields anyone from questions. She reminded viewers that speculation should never replace facts. The internet can amplify rumors quickly, and names can spread without context. Candace encouraged her audience to approach trending discussions carefully, separating verified reporting from viral noise. But she maintained that public figures cannot expect immunity from curiosity simply because they are famous.
The emails drop, and Jeffrey Epstein, who worked on behalf of the Rothschilds, according to him, wrote that in an email, The Rothschilds, who credit themselves with having created which nation state? Oh, right, Israel. Israel, the same nation state that is having a bunch of women say that they were ritualistically abused in a forest by rabbis. That's happening in the Knesset right now, that nation state, saying that they were 3, 4 years old when this happened. He's saying, those are my bosses, the Rothschilds. And here is a brief, but by no means an extensive coverage, video that was put together by, I assume this guy must be Goy, right? Goy? Is Goy? TikToker Contrarian put this together. Take a listen.
Israel is mentioned twice as much as Donald Trump in the new documents. Here he is discussing with Roger Schank, a Jewish American academic and hedge fund worker, saying Jews create vast fortunes by manipulating markets and creating financial speculation and exploiting labor. He says, let the Goyim deal in the real world. In a discussion with the Rothschild family, Epstein says if they overthrew the Ukrainian government, there would be great opportunities. The Rothschild family paid Epstein $25 million for certain algorithms. While talking to Peggy Seigel, August 7th of 2010, she asks if an event is going to be 100% Jewish. He says no, they'll have Goyim in abundance. But don't worry, they're just brilliant wasps from JP Morgan. Joshua Finkelstein, BlackRock's Larry Finkelstein's son, is accused of not having any respect for non-Jews, seeing them as not human. This is from his ex-girlfriend, Svetlana. He pressures her to have an abortion. In 2017, Epstein has a conversation talking about if you want to hire the best people, you have to hire only Jews. Only hire those who can prove they are genetically Jewish. Maria Farmer, one of the first victims to come out and name Epstein,
I wasn't allowed to go get food. And when I called Ghislaine and asked why I couldn't eat there, she said, it's a Jewish country club. You're not Jewish. They're not going to serve you. They, honest to God, think their DNA is better than everybody else's.
said that their operation was motivated by Jewish supremacy.
Anybody gonna say that that's not real anymore?
Candace then broadened the conversation beyond Cameron Diaz specifically. She argued that the Epstein scandal exposed how intertwined power, wealth, and entertainment had become. The reason audiences react strongly to any celebrity name tied to those discussions, she said, is because trust in elite systems has been shaken. People are no longer willing to accept glossy narratives without deeper transparency.
I've got some news. Emmanuel Macron is gay. Why are you gay, Emmanuel Macron? When I said it, it was a conspiracy. Now these Epstein emails are getting released and people are looking up, and by people I mean the mainstream media. They're willing to accept that maybe I was telling the truth. He's also married to a dude because he's gay, so that makes sense. But I guess we'll wait for the next email dump before the reliably dishonest press is prepared to admit that part too. And then this text chain that is happening, they are discussing Emmanuel Macron's boyfriend. It is Epstein, and I believe in other chats, he's talking with Steve Bannon, and this says, along with some other tidbits, I was shown a photo of Macron's boyfriend. Hypocrisy. There are more emails referencing the fact that Emmanuel Macron is gay. And I think the biggest clue was that he married a dude. But apparently now people are willing to accept that Emmanuel Macron is not a straight Catholic man by any stretch of an imagination. No, in fact, I know his trigger. His trigger is MK Ultra. And his trigger is anybody that discusses his wife, and there's something there, okay? Now that we are kind of graduating into the Epstein files as a society, you can start to separate that all of these facts from fiction and recognize that the media is out there to consistently lie and to protect the elites. They have money, they have power, they do not have the truth on their side. And many of these things that you may have thought were conspiracies, things that I grew up thinking were conspiracies, are so obviously not conspiracies at all. It's getting interesting, but we can put that as another thing that I was right about. Unfortunately, I don't want to be right about these things sometimes, but when it came to Emmanuel Macron, yeah, that's been pretty obvious. Any woman looks at Brigitte and just goes, nah, nope, something not right there.
Her voice softened slightly as she acknowledged the human side of the conversation. Being pulled into viral speculation can be damaging even if nothing is proven. Candace said accountability should never become harassment, and discussion should remain focused on facts. But she insisted that asking questions about elite networks is not wrong. It's a natural response to a scandal that shook public confidence. Toward the end of the segment, Candace reflected on how much Hollywood has changed. There was a time when celebrities could rely on their reputation to move past controversy without addressing it directly. Now, audiences expect engagement. They expect acknowledgement. They expect clarity. According to Candace, this shift is permanent. She concluded by reiterating that being mentioned in online speculation does not equal wrongdoing. However, she believes the larger cultural moment is significant. The public is watching more closely than ever. Fame no longer guarantees unquestioned admiration. And whether Cameron Diaz or any other celebrity chooses to address trending conversations, the demand for transparency will continue. Candace's final message was firm but measured. Hollywood built its legacy on image, but image alone isn't enough anymore.